Okay guys, so the first thing I do is I go back to layout, and you can see we have the cube and I want to subdivide it. In this first part we will just do the base mesh, so there will not be like much of the sculpting. We have to prepare our mesh to sculpt. So I will click Ctrl 2 to subdivide it 2 times, or if you don't have the shortcut you can basically go to modifiers, add the subdivision surface modifier, and basically click apply. So we will click apply, and first we want it to be our head. So let's go to the sculpting that we made before, and I'll change to grab brush and I'll move it down a bit to match our character. And remember to always have the references on the second screen or the same screen if you don't have two monitors, but like always have it in the background, and you can basically change from Blender to your reference photo if you have only one screen. But I have my reference on the second screen, so I will just look at it. Let's try to shape it as much as possible to be the same. As you can see, the character is in pose, but we will sculpt him from the front and then we will post him, but we will see. So roughly the head is something like this. You don't have to be that much precise, just try to get something quite nice. Okay, so we can leave it as it is here. So this is our head, and as you can see, if I click tab I can go from sculpt mode to object mode, so remember about it. So now let's add the neck. So I will click Shift A to add the cylinder, which will be our neck, and we want to scale it basically. So you can go to the right side, let's scale it by clicking S, let's rotate it, let's click Shift Z 2 times so it will rotate, like it will scale along his local Z axis. And let's check the size of the neck. I always have the problem with the necks because they are always too long in my sculpt, but I don't see it, I don't notice it, so people always say it later that it's too long, but they are right. So I will try to make it the same. So I think this is quite okay. As you can see, it's quite big on the top. So let's go to sculpt mode again. I'll go click tab, go to sculpt mode, and I'll just move the top more to the center with the grab brush, and let's go to the right view, and I will move this part more backwards like this, so his neck is not that big and he will be more like a skinny guy. And I think it's nice. Let's check the back. Okay, maybe a little bit more like smaller, thinner, and I think that is nice. Let's go to object mode. There's one thing that triggers me a lot because in this pie menu version the front is on the right and I used to have it on the left, and now I always go to the back when I want to go to the front, so I have to get used to it. So next thing is the torso. Let's add the new mesh again. It will be a cube. Let's subdivide it this 3 times, so I'll click Ctrl 3, and if you don't have it, remember, go to layout, add the modifier, click apply. So I have to click apply because there's no shortcut, I think, to apply it from the sculpting. So let's go back to the sculpt mode, but first let's go to the object mode, select the sphere, let's move it down by clicking G. I will move it roughly to where the neck ends. Let's go the front view, and I think this is correct. Let's go the sculpt and let's sculpt it. So I will move it to the right. Make sure to have the mirror on, and he's not that white. Like he is white, but he is not wide. Okay, let's go to the front view. Let's drag this a bit down, and let's drag this up. This will be his torso, and let's move the right view so we can see him better, and also the front view here. Okay, I think this one we can move a bit up. And the hands are quite nice. I will move this more down so he will be more pointy. Like this. And his arms should start here, so we'll add an arm later. But here the chest should end, basically, I think. So he's quite slim. So I'll move this a bit to front. Okay, that's it. Let's go back to the object mode. Let's add another mesh, which will be again a cube. We'll subdivide 2 times this time because we don't need that much detail. I'll move this down by clicking G and Z, so we'll move it on the Z axis. And now let's move it more to the right, and we have to apply it. So let's go to the layout again. Let's click apply and let's go back to the sculpting mode. So let's go to the front view and we'll sculpt this part. So his belly should be something like this. He's more lean. I don't know if you say lean, I think. Okay, something like this is quite nice. And as you can see, we have to fix the hands, I think. Like the torso, because he's too big there. So let's go back to the object mode. Let's select this one. Let's go to the sculpt mode. And let's move it more closer to each other. And that's it. Now let's go back to the object mode. We have the torso, we have the belly. And now let's add the hand. So let's click Shift A again. And you might think that I will add the cylinder, but I will not. I will add the cube and subdivide it 2 times again. And this will be our arm. So I want it to be more round, that's why I chose the cube. And one more thing we want to do is to add the mirror modifier. So if you go here, you can add the mirror modifier. And if you go to the edit mode, so it's right here. So if you click tab, you can go to edit mode. And we want to move it to the right, so it will clone the ball right here. So let's move it more to the arm. Let's scale it down, basically. And we'll move it right here somewhere. So it will be our joint, so we can see better. And I think let's move it a bit back, like this. Okay, so I think it's nice. Let's go back to the object mode. Let's apply subdivision modifier and mirror modifier. And now let's go to the sculpting. I think we can change it a bit. So let's go to the front view. Let's move it. Let's move the left part more up, so it will be pointy again, like this. The arm is quite nice. We can move it a bit down. And we can go to the object mode. Let's go back to the torso. Let's change it a bit again. So you can see that there's a lot of tweaking, because you have to try it. It's like try and error method. There's no, like, you can't get it right from the start. And I'll move this part a bit back, so it will be our like back muscles. So it will connect more with the arm here. So that's good. And I think it's nice. Okay, it's very nice. Let's go back to the object mode, and now we will add the cylinder, as I said, and it will be our arm. But first, let's add a mirror modifier. So we will go back to layout. Yeah, I know it's quite like boring process, but it's very necessary, and it will help you a lot when we'll go to sculpting actually. So if you have very solid foundation, your sculpt will be a lot better. So let's add the mirror. Let's go to edit mode. Let's move it down. I will scale it up. And now I just want to scale it, like I will make it slimmer. So you want to click to scale it down, but only on the, you don't want to scale on the Z axis. So you have to click S, then click Shift and choose Z, so it will not scale on the Z axis. It will only scale on the Y and X axis. So that's how we make our hand slimmer, but actually we want to scale on the z-axis because it's too big. So let's scale it somewhere like here. Let's go to the front, and now we have to just put it in the right place. I will rotate it a bit, scale it down again. Okay, and I think that this is quite nice, but I think it should be smaller. So I'll scale it again down, move it up. So here there should be another joint, so we'll make it in a few seconds. But first let's get this down. So let's go back to the object mode. I think we can apply the mirror. Let's go to sculpting, and now we want to make it a bit thicker by dragging the edges, this to the left and this to the right, so it will be thicker a bit. And let's go to the front. Oh my gosh, I hate this. Okay, let's move this more to the right so it match more with the arm. Also this. Okay, this is nice. So let's select this, let's duplicate it basically, and we will rotate it to match the hand, and I will move it more to the front so it will be bendy, like this angle. This curve is nice, and as you can see the front is very off. So let's go to the sculpt mode. Let's make our brush a bit bigger by clicking F, and let's move it to the right. Let's connect it together. Okay, the hand, let's move it down so it will be a bit longer, because his hands is quite long. As you can see, it's very long, so it's very stylized. So we will make it very long, like his, and we will make it very slim at the end, like this. Okay, I think this is quite nice. Let's make this a bit slimmer. Okay, and here I think we are basically almost done. Let's just add the cube again to mark the joint. So let's click Ctrl 2. I added a cube. I click Ctrl 2 to subdivide it. I will apply it. Go back to sculpting. Oh, and I forgot to add the mirror. So let's go back to the layout mode. Let's add the mirror modifier. And let's go to edit mode. Let's move everything down. So it will be somewhere right here. Let's scale it down. And let's move it more to the center. And that's it. Let's apply it. Let's go back to sculpting. And now we can sculpt it. So basically I will match it more with our hands. So like this. Here will be this, like this part. I forgot the name of this part. It's basically the, I forgot. So it's basically pointing more outwards a bit, so we'll make it more outwards like this. And let's see from the far how it looks. From the front it's not quite good, so we will move it like this, but from the side it's quite nice. Let's move this up. Let's move it like this. Okay, let's move it more to the hands. Okay, we will make it so it will be in the center here, like this. Nice. Okay, I think this is very nice for the beginning. I will move it more up. So we have basically our mesh done. Just the hands also, we have to do it. So let's add again the cube. Let's subdivide it again 2 times. And I will go to the layout so we can add the modifier, which is mirror modifier. So it's very repetitive. Let's go to the edit mode, and actually here will be something different. We will move it to the right, and those stylized hands, they are quite flat. So basically I want to add a loop cut to make this flat. So I will click Ctrl R here. I will click left click to apply it, the loop cut. As you can see, it made this part flat, which is good because we want it. And now we can select those 4 vertices here. You can basically go to the wireframe mode to select the vertices that are behind, and I will move it closer in the x-axis. So I'll click G and click X to move it on the x-axis. So we can go back to the solid mode, and I think I'll add one more loop cut to make this part flat, the top part. So let's click Ctrl R and let's move it up. So we have something like this, which will be good for sculpting. So let's go back to the object mode. Let's move it down, basically move it somewhere closer to the hands. We can even scale it down. So let's scale it down. And let's go to the object mode, select edit mode actually, select, oh my gosh. Okay, select all by clicking A. And let's move it more to the right. Let's go back to the object mode, and sorry guys, I will change one thing because I have the pie menu on the selecting and I don't want that. So I will have to go to the input, no, it's key map, and search for pie menu. And here you have this pie selection object mode, and I don't want that basically. And let's click save preferences. So now if I click A, it will select everything, and if I click Alt A, it will deselect everything, which is the behavior that I want. So let's move back. Let's select this part. Let's apply everything, mirror and subdivision. Let's go back to the sculpting, and let's shape it so it looks more like the hand. So we are very lucky because we can see the shape of his hand. So you can see that this part is closer to the forehand. This part is more out, and it's quite blocky because it's stylized. So the fingers, I hate fingers, like they are very hard to make. And you saw that I made a video about hands, but like about sculpting the hand, but it took me a lot of time, but it turns out good, but I still don't know how to sculpt hands. So I'll move this more to the center, and I will move the middle part more to the right, so it will be this slight bend that is like typical in hands, like this. Okay, he's very ugly right now, but I hope he will turn out better. So let's leave it like this for now. Maybe we can... No, I think that's everything that we can do. I'll move this more up like this, so it will have the place for the fingers. So let's go back to the object mode and let's add those fingers that I was talking about. So they are basically the cubes, but a bit bended. So I will add a cube. I will go back to layout. I will click Ctrl 2, add the mirror modifier again, go back to the edit mode, move it down, scale it down, go to the right view, and we will do the same. I will add a loop cut here, so we will make it more blocky, like blocky fingers. And I think for now it will have only one bend, so we will bend it one way. So I will select the bottom vertices, those two. I will click E to extrude, and I will move it more to the right, so it will be, I will rotate it here, so it will be quite bendy. And let's add a loop cut here, and let's move it to the right, so it will be something like this. So that's our basic shape for our finger. So let's move to the back to the object mode. Let's apply it to everything, and we can move it closer here. Let's rotate it even like this. Let's scale it a bit down, and let's go to edit mode because we have to move it down. So let's select everything by clicking A. Like, what the hell? Okay, there's something wrong because I can't say. Okay, make sure to have everything selected basically. So I think you should have A on selection, but I don't know. Or actually, I will cut out this part. I will fix the selection because it triggers me. Okay guys, so I'm back again. I hope it works. Let's see. Yeah, it works. So I had to disable basically the... Okay, I will leave this part because it was very fast. Okay, so let's move it down. And now let's go to the sculpting mode. And we will sculpt it basically. So I will move it more to the right so it fit more with the fingers. Okay, it's too fat, so we'll make it thinner. And I think it's also too long. Okay, those fingers are very ugly. I think we will change them later. Okay, I'll move it like this. Let's move to the right here so we can see the fingers better. Okay, they should not be that bended. Something like this is nice. Okay, this is nice. Let's... How many fingers does he has? Okay, 5. Okay, let's go back to the object mode. Let's select this. Let's duplicate it. And you know what? Delete this duplication. Let's select it again and let's click Alt D instead of Shift D. And if you click Alt D, you can see that if I change something in one mesh, it will change it in the other mesh too, from the mesh that you duplicated. So I will just rotate this part, and we want to change the pivot because it's very wrong. Or you can... Okay, I think it's not that hard right now, so we will select this one, move it more to this part. We'll select this one, select it and move it more to the center. And I think they are too fat, so I will go to edit mode. I will make them closer to each other. So they will be a bit slimmer, like this. So you can see it saves us a lot of time if you have them duplicated with Alt D, not with Shift D. Okay, I just made them slimmer at the tip. Okay, let's go back to the object mode. Let's select it again. Let's duplicate it. And now we have 3 fingers and there's one more. I'll Shift D it, move it right here, rotate it, and the pivot is very wrong. It's up here, but you have to deal with it basically. So you have to rotate it and move it somewhere like here. So the fingers, they are very ugly, but they are here basically. Okay, and the thumb. And I think the thumb will make them separate, so I'll select this. I'll click Shift D, not Alt D, so it will not be the same instance. I'll move it up on the Z axis. And let's go to the sculpting mode. So we will sculpt it so it will be bigger at the root here. But here we can move it to the right like this. And from the front, like this. We don't want the clipping, so we will move it out. Okay, let's move it too far. and it's very bendy, but don't worry guys. We'll go to the palm and we'll make it more inwards here, like this. So we'll make the room for our thumb. Let's go back to the thumb. Let's move it more to our palm. Let's make it a bit thicker. And I think that's it. Okay, first part. The fingers are quite still ugly, so I will rotate them. So I will go to the sculpt mode. I'll move it more to the right, like this. So they will be more to the right, like this. And I will change the palm, so I will move them more to the inside, like this. And I think that's it. It's very nice. I think we can rotate this one. Like we can move. Okay guys, so select this one, click Alt B, and we want to clear and keep transformation. And now we can go to the sculpt mode and move it to the inside. And we cleared the parent because we want to change only this finger and not the rest, and that's why this one is not an instance of the rest, because we cleared the parent. So they are just, those fingers are just for like prototype, so you can, they are just here to for blockout. We'll eventually just sculpt the one and change it, like copy it to the other fingers. So I think that we are very nice here. I think we can add the ear also. So let's click Shift A. Let's select the cylinder. Let's go to the layout. Let's add the mirror modifier. Let's go to the sculpt mode, to edit mode. Sorry for my mistake guys, but I always do mistakes. I'm not the best tutor, but I hope I can teach you something. Okay, so let's move it to the right with G. Let's rotate it. Let's scale it down. Let's go to the right side. Let's move it somewhere in the ear where the ear should be. Let's move it closer to the head. And the ear should be somewhere here, around here. Let's rotate it like this more. Let's go to the top view. Let's rotate it so we can see it more in the front. So I will rotate it like this. So let's see the front. As you can see, it looks very nice. And now we can go back to the object mode. Let's click apply to the mirror. Let's go to sculpting, and we will shape it to the shape of the ear more. So let's move it like this and this to the front, and now let's shape it like this. It should look something like this. And I think this is very nice. Like, we don't have to go into much detail because it's block out, but his ears look somewhere like this. I'm not sure, but somewhere like this. Okay, it's everything. And we can also add the nose, but I don't know if the nose should be apart. But we can add the hair basically. So let's click Shift A again. Let's add a cube. Let's click Contour 3 or 2 actually. And let's go to the layout. Let's apply it. Let's go to the sculpting again. Let's shape it so it will cover the top head like this. And let's shape it so it covered part of the ear here, but not the ear, so we will make the room for the ear. Let's make a room for the forehead. Let's go to the front. As you can see, he looks like he has an afro, but he doesn't. So let's move this more closer. This also move. Let's move it closer, so it will be closer to the head. And he has this some kind of Elvis Presley hair, so we'll move this like to the front. I know it's not accurate and it's still mirrored, but it's something like this. So for blockout, it's very nice. Let's move it more to the right. And let's move it up so we can see his forehead. Like this. Okay, something like this. It's very nice. So he looks something like this. And let's go to the front. I think that's everything. Maybe we can add the nose. So let's click Shift A again. Let's add the cube, subdivide it 2 times. You should already know this process, so I will not repeat it. I will move it down, scale it down. Apply the scale actually, so you click Ctrl A and you can apply the scale. Let's go to sculpting and let's shape the nose. Like his nose is very stylized, so that's why I shape it separate as a separate mesh, but usually I make it like I sculpt it together because they are quite small, especially the girl's nose. If I sculpt the girl, I sculpt it together because they have very small noses and it's very easy to extrude it. But if you have this guy with that big nose, then you have to shape it to make it look more like the guy. So from the front he looks something like this. So the bottom is quite white, the top is quite thin. From the side, I think he looks something like this. I'm not sure because we only have one photo, which is very hard to like sculpt from. But I'm a bit experienced, so I think I will get it right. I will move it more, this part more towards the face. So yeah, he will have this shape. And I think that's it, guys. It's I'm very happy with the shape, like with the base shape, like this. And we can actually shape, like save the file, not shape. And we'll add the clothes later on. So first we will sculpt the body, then we'll add the clothes. So let's click Ctrl S. Let's save it. I will select the new, which is basically no, not new. Fuck. Sorry for cursing. Let's click save. I'm not used to this new, like to this pie menu add-on. So this should pop, and I have my file here. I have documents. I have my Blender projects, and I'll add a new folder. I'll call it Pinterest Guy Tutorial Series. Yeah, it's very long, but it's very descriptive name, so you know what it means basically. So I will select it, and I will name it. I will name this file Pinterest Guy because I found this picture on the Pinterest, like this. And I will click Save Blender File. Save Blender File, and we are done, guys. So this will be it for the first part. It's very long, but I hope you liked it. And I will see you guys in the next one. I'll try to improve my speaking because I make mistakes sometimes. But I hope you liked it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.